I can hear them. Yes. Hey guys, welcome back to the action here in the Lamborghini Super Trofeo Asia. It has been a fantastic season. We started at Sydney Motorsport Park in Australia, then to Shanghai in China, to Fuji Speedway in Japan, to India in Korea, and now we are in the bakery. It is a magnificent scene here at the Sepang International Circuit in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. And we've got a championship to decide. In fact, we've got several because, of course, we have the competition in Pro, Pro-Am and the Am categories as well as the Lamborghini Cup, and it's all going to culminate in two fantastic races, one today and one tomorrow, and there will be some magnificent battles all the way. The first challenge, of course, out the way, that was qualifying this morning, and it put Peter Lee into pole position after a fantastic run, but second on the grid is the SJM Theodore car that is just 2 races away from wrapping up the 2025 title. Come with me and let's go and find some of the personalities on the starting grid. It is a packed starting grid as everybody who is anybody in Lamborghini Asia is down here on the starting grid to try and get ready for the start. We're going to see if we can grab a quick word with Peter Lee from inside the car. He's alone, of course, so it's going to be an interesting one. Peter, good to see you. What a fantastic run to pole position in qualifying. How's the confidence coming into this one?
Yeah, I think today is very hot. The condition is really tricky, and also I'm the solo race for me. So let's see how it goes the race. Let's see who can bring the car home.
Having that 3-second pit stop handicap, that's going to mean a lot of hard work for you across the 2 stints. How are you feeling?
Yeah, let's push. Let's try my best, mate.
Okay, good luck, Peter. Have a good one.
Yeah, thank you.
Great to see Peter. He celebrated his birthday this week as well, so coming into the weekend full of positivity. Let's cross over to the team that is up at the sharp end, the SJM Theodore crew. I'm going to see if we can find the men who have been captaining the ship all the way. It's good to see the movers and shakers. David Kennedy's here and Teddy Yip is here as well. Teddy, what a momentous opportunity for you and the team. This is just 2 races away now from clinching what has been a very hard-fought title in 2025.
It has indeed. We've been really fortunate to come this far this quickly. Hopefully we can pull it off this weekend, but I think we've got a good chance.
It's been a very difficult journey to get to this point, but the boys have had a lot of hard work to it. What's been the shining moment over the season for you so far?
I mean, it was a very, very strong opener in Sydney, absolutely, but every single race, the boys have been right on it. It's been excellent from minute 1.
Okay, we're looking forward to seeing the races out there. Great to see you. Great to have your company.
Thank you.
David Kennedy as well in Prospect as well. Good to see you. David, the team have been so strong. What do you guys put it down to?
Do you know what? I think it came home to the last race in Korea, and you were amazing because your commentary was fantastic.
Bless you.
Yeah, as they fought 4 cars for the lead, it was touch and go, and that really typified what it was. The season has been so close, and it was just so digging deep to make the difference for the SGM Theodore car, and that's what made the difference this year. It was just an outstanding race, and hopefully we have another one here.
Sepang lends itself to overtaking. Do you think we're going to see another one like it today?
Yeah, well, there's a double value here, is obviously because the championship is at stake. So we're going to be relatively cautious, but towards the end of the race, like you saw in Korea, that's the time to attack, and that's when the others are at their weakest, I think, and we're at our strongest.
Okay, well, we'll let Alex and Charles do their thing. Good job, sir.
Thank you.
It's going to be very interesting. We've obviously got the signals to clear the grid now, but we are going to tell you a little bit going into this one. The Pro-Am pole position, Bryce Fullwood, the Australian, starting there from 3rd position on the grid. I think we've just got time. I'm going to quickly cut in just to get a quick word from Bryce before we start. That's going to go quickly. Bryce, 3rd position on the grid. Great to see you. How is things going to go from this part of the grid?
I have no idea. Obviously, this is my first time in this car, first time at this track. We do standing starts at home, not rolling starts, so I've done as much homework as I can, so I guess we're going to have to wait and see.
Pro-Am pole, let's hope you bring it there at the end. Good luck.
Thank you, cheers.
Very excited to see Bryce Fullwood putting the car in 3rd position. We've got to clear the grid. You've got to sit still and get yourself ready for a great race. Find a good seat, but I promise you, you're only going to need the edge of it. The 1 minute board goes up, the engine revs rise, and the anticipation is fever pitch for this final race weekend of the Asian season before we go to the Lamborghini World Finals in the autumn. "24 cars lining up in position. Peter Lee, pole position for the Lamborghini Bundan crew. And there is the car that could, at the end of tomorrow, be walking away with the championship title. Alex Denning and Charles Leong sharing that car as they have done all season long. And it's going to be fascinating to see if they can come through to finish the task. It is 16:05 local time. The green light goes, and we are under formation lap conditions. Peter Lee and Alex Denning will lead the charge. Bryce Fullwood and Lin Kang will be next up. Then Liu Kaixun and Massimiliano Weiser in the Z-Speed car, taking over at the number 15 crew from Ho Pin Tung. So as the drivers set themselves around the course here at Sepang, plenty of overtaking opportunities likely on this circuit. Our onboard cameras are going to give us a really exciting insight into how the battle will rage out on the course. It'll be fascinating to see how everybody gets underway through the course of proceedings. trying to figure out who the onboard camera is on this occasion. But anyway, Peter Lee on pole position in the number 7 racecraft car. Then it is Alex Denning for SJM Theodore, second on the grid. Bryce Forwards put the car third on the grid for Climax Racing. Hudson Auto in 4th place from LK by Climax. Z Speed in P6 with the 15 crew. DW Evans GT. Great to see Nazim Asman back alongside Emilian Card. And then Gavin Huang for BC Racing. Then it's SQDA Grit in 9th place alongside the Lepert Motorsport. Ethan Brown alone this weekend. Todd Kingsford and Chris Vanderdrift in the Fane Lab car number 98. And then Lee Dongsheng and Donghui in 12th on the grid. Nicholas Starty makes his debut in the championship alongside Sudadok Buncharon. And then it is Jujun Song and Brendan Leach for Lepert in 15th on the grid after they took a penalty. And then it's Hazik and Hadi Zadalo. Then it's Umar Abdullah and Dibo Fichmaden. Subachai with a Bonpong, the leader in the Lamborghini Cup. Then Haran Zaralo alongside Aaron Lim in the HZO Fortis car, Johnson Huang and Brian Huang. Then Eng Pengo and Sango Kim alongside Kumar Prabhakaran and Shinjin Takei in the Batmobile. Then Jimin Ma for Arrows and Hingtak Mak in the Kamlong Racing number 68 car. So the Lamborghini Urus leads us around on the course. So there is the onboard camera car. It is Lin Kang lining up in the 66 on the Hudson Auto by LKM machine. He'll be sharing that car with Liu Jiwei over the course of this fantastic race battle. 50 minutes, my apologies, plus the additional lap. And of course, they have a mandatory pit stop. Not everybody will be doing a driver change. All of those teams that will not do a driver change will have 3 seconds added to their minimum mandatory pit stop time to compensate. So for Peter Lee from pole position, he does not have a driver change coming up. So he's got to find 3 seconds more than the rest of the opponents before the race even begins. The marshals are in position. It's a rolling start, of course, in Lamborghini Super Trofeo Asia. And for Peter Lee and Alex Denning on the front row of the grid, this is familiar territory for the pole sitter in Pro-Am in 3rd on the grid for Bryce Fullwood. This is the first time he's ever done rolling starts, so this could be interesting. Lin Kang alongside him, then Liu Kaixun, Masi Weiser, Emilian Card, Gavin Huang, Jiatong Liang, and Ethan Brown, alone in the Lepert number 27 this time, so he will also take a 3-second handicap penalty, as will young Australian Nicholas Starty off the grid in 13th, making his debut, the last of the pro drivers. We come up to starters' orders here in Sepang, the final Asian weekend of Lamborghini Super Trofeo Asia. Let's race at Sepang! Great start from Peter Lee, but not a bad one either from Alex Denning, who slots in to try and go right round the outside. Not a bad launch from Bryce Fullwood as they get to the first corner. There's already a couple of drivers trying their luck. Emilian Card looks racy on the inside line in the DW Evans GT car. He's already made his way up into P6 by the look of it on the far side. He could make it up to P5 if he's patient through that first turn. Couple of combinations on this first lap as everybody tries to mix it. That's what it looks like on board with Lin Kang, trying to get himself in a 3rd position, and he's done it. So Lin Kang P3. There is a slight delay in the onboard camera picture, but we still got to see what it's like from on board Lin Kang's car. And already there is a big battle as they rise up the crest. A little bit of a run right there from the 89 of Jujun Song of Lepert. But Ethan Brown is already going wheel to wheel there with Jiatong Liang. Liang tries to make his spin on the inside. No, you don't, says Ethan Brown through turn 6. Cuts across nice and neatly as Alex Denning leads. He's got ahead of Peter Lee. So Alex Denning in the SJM Theodore car has got himself into the lead here. But it's still very early days. Peter Lee knows that if he lets Alex Denning go now, he's just got to stay hungry and glued to his rear spoiler all the way through the first stage of this race. Big dive onto the inside line in the hairpin as on the inside of Nicholas Starty. That is a bold lunge from, I think that's going to be Todd Kingsford trying to get the move on the inside line there, and he has to bail out of it. So Todd Kingsford tries as Nicholas Starty's got to have his eyes on stalks. He's only had single-seater experience prior to this, so this is definitely unfamiliar territory as Lin Kang runs in 3rd position, close behind Peter Lee. Up towards 14, trying to get a good run off the turn, but Alex Denning is still under some pressure as the field is still very much on the attack. Ethan Brown still trying to shake off Jiatong Lee at the moment. Jiatong Liang still going very hard here as they work their way through. Look how tight it is between the 3 leaders. Alex Denning, Peter Lee and Lin Kang very close together as they run through. Very tight stuff on the sharp end of the field. Across the line, and Peter Lee's got a run here on Alex Denning. We saw great battles and overtakes at India. I think we're going to see even more here at Sepang as we go into the second lap. Bryce Fullwood's already checking out Lin Kang on the inside radius, and down in P5, Masi Weiser is getting himself settled into the Z-Speed car. That's the car, of course, he's sharing with Kevin Chen. Earlier in the season, it was Hoping Tung behind the wheel of that car. You can chop and change drivers through the course of the season. It's the permanent staymaker in the car that carries the championship points. Well, certainly for Charles de Jong and Alex Denning up front, no worries at all. Back on board with Lin Kang. Let's see how he approaches the tail end of the number 7, Peter Lee. So the Bundang by Racecraft car in front. You can still see the concrete cement dust that was kicked up earlier on, laid down by the Malaysian touring cars. As on the inside line is that Peter Lee making his bid on the inside of Alex Denning while the gap shuts on him. He's going for it early. So Peter Lee fancies his chances on Alex Denning. Lin Kang is just sitting pretty in third position. That's fine, boys. You just battle with each other. I'll just sit here in third place. When you fall off the road, I'll take the lead. But they're not going to fall off the road, not if they've got anything to say about it. Tippy toe through turn 10. Alex Denning fairly cautious there. Peter Lee is tempted to come in and have a look. So the pit window will open at 4:28 local time. That is in 16 minutes' time. And then, of course, it will close exactly 10 minutes after. And they've got to make their mandatory pit stop in that time. And they've got to stick to the minimum mandatory pit stop. Any team that is running just one driver will have 3 seconds added to that mandatory pit stop to compensate on the handicap. Lin Kang is looking racy here, and so too is Bryce Fullwood. Down to the inside of the hairpin. Is Lin Kang going to get the move? He knows this place very well, of course. This is a circuit he's very au fait with. He was the fastest qualifier at Sepang, diving up the inside, Lin Kang! The man who got the fastest lap time in the Sepang 12 hours. He knows this place so well, and he's getting very racy alongside Peter Lee. That's going to open the floodgates for Bryce Fullwood. Down the main straight, Fullwood's got him licked on the inside line. Lin Kang's going to try and go long on the brakes, but Bryce Fullwood's got, oh, he's nudged him, and he's concertinaed him into the back of Peter Lee. So they roll off the power, and now there's an opportunity for the 15 of Masi Weiser with a chance. Goodness me, Lin Kang getting very aggressive behind Bryce Fullwood and nudges Fullwood into the back of Peter Lee. That was a little bit more NASCAR than it was Lamborghini Asia for a moment. But fortunately, they rolled off the power, they let it dissipate naturally. All this, of course, has really helped the SJM Theodore car out front. Alex Denning has got a gap. Let's look at it again. Here's the first gap on the inside line. Peter Lee, he just gets a little bit wide in the first part of the radius, and that's enough for Lin Kang for an invitation. He thinks that's a gap. No, it isn't, says Peter Lee. Contact. And then it carried on into turn 1. And we didn't get to see the rest of that bit. Maybe we'll get a chance a bit later. But certainly, Bryce Fullwood not happy with playing bumper cars with Peter Lee. These are Lamborghini Hurricanes. You're not supposed to make contact in these cars. They are brutal, they are brittle, and they are meant to be driven hard, but certainly not lackadaisically. Peter Lee trying to shake off Bryce Fullwood. Lin Kang has really struggled since that little contretemps, and so Bryce Fullwood has got an invitation to the party here. Up on the front end. They're enjoying this at Climax Racing because their man Bryce Fullwood doing a great job. What a start to his Lamborghini Asia journey. Right up to the sharp end and really enjoying it. But how much more is there left in the tank? He's going to go for a very tight radius into the hairpin. Bryce Fullwood commits. That'll do nicely. Second place for the Climax star. Great overtake. So Bryce Fullwood, P2. Now he's got his eyes firmly fixed on the man up front. Alex Denning, watch your mirrors. I'm coming for you. Good work from Bryce Fullwood. He will, of course, share that car with Zhou Huang. So a great start for Bryce Fullwood in the number 99 car's first race of the season. Up into second place ahead of Peter Lee. In Lamborghini Cup, by the way, it is currently Suphachai Winnipawonpong who leads the way from Goen Peng and Kumar Prabhakaran. So Kumar Prabhakaran in third place in the Batmobile car. The AM race is currently being led by Lee Dong-hui ahead of Sutarok Puncharan and Umar Abdullah. In Pro-Am, well, we've already seen the leader in Pro-Am, Bryce Fullwood, work his way into second position, and the leader overall, and the leader in Pro is Alex Denning. So Massi Weiser going well in the Z-Speed car number 15, as he shares that entry, of course, with Kevin Chen. Chen Chenhua, as Chinese fans will know him. Big battle as they work their way through. There's the 11 car, still in the mix there, Gavin Huang in the BC racing car. And he is alone for this weekend as well. So he's going to be one of the drivers who will have to take that 3-second handicap. Coming towards us, a nice little battle. This is Ethan Brown leading the trio. Right behind him, he still has Jiatong Liang. He's also got a little bit of pressure from Todd Kingsford in the FaneLab number 98 car. On the inside line, big launch on the inside from the Korean, and Jiatong Liang gets there, but can he tidy it up on the exit? Yes, he can. Good move. And that is an unconventional corner on the circuit to make an overtake as well. So Jiatong Liang really stepping up the plate there and getting a decent move under his belt. The SQDA Grit team will be happy with that. Lepert will not be particularly happy, especially now that Todd Kingsford is on the warpath in the FaneLab car. Todd Kingsford looked very racy on the opening lap. Fancies his chances again here. Has a look. Ethan Brown's got big fish to fry this weekend to try and get as many points on the board as possible. So he doesn't want to run into hot water. Denning leads, Fullwood second. Peter Lee third, Lin Kang fourth, from Massi Weiser, Liu Kai-shun, Emilian Card and Gavin Huang. So there is Lin Kang trying to get away from Massimiliano Weiser. Good run through the left-hander, dropping down the crest again. Racing in the second half of this year has just been fantastic in Lamborghini Super Trofeo Asia. At India, we had two absolute classic races. It looks like we're going to get another one here in Sepang. We're only 10 minutes into it. It's already been fantastic stuff. We're getting closer, of course, to the pit window. That opens in 10 minutes. Second warning already for track limits for Jiatong Liang, though, so that overtaking move on Ethan Brown was just a little bit more eager than we thought. And Todd Kingsford's got ahead of Brown as well. So Todd Kingsford got ahead of Ethan Brown too. Not entirely sure where he did that, but he's sharing his car, of course, with Chris Vanderdrift. So good work from Todd Kingsford. He'll hand over to Vanderdrift later, and it's looking very positive for them. Exactly 10 minutes now until the pit window opens. It opens bang on half an hour to go, and closes bang on 20 minutes to go. There is Massimiliano Weiser in the Z-Speed car. Still trying to put Lin Kang under pressure. There is the 66. Second in Pro-Am is the battle we're looking at the moment. Lin Kang, the man who set the fastest lap time of anybody in the Sepang 12-hour qualifying session earlier this year. Ex-Formula 3 European driver, raced in GB3, Asia Le Mans, GT World Challenge Asia. And now here he is battling for the Pro-Am podium in Lamborghini Asia. Big pressure still coming from Massi Weiser. Is this going to be a launch up the inside line from Weiser, looking for his chance on the inside? He's not quite going to be able to take that, but he might be able to go slow in and fast out. Very tactical as he comes out of the final turn. This is good progress for Massi. Looking to try and get himself into P4 here, ahead of Lin Kang. In the background, you can see Liu Kai-shun still going well in the number 3 car. That is the LK by Climax machine. And then the DW Evans car of Emilian Card, who's got his teammate back just as we talk about them. There is the Evans crew, running 2 cars, the DW Evans GT car, masterminded by Dan Wells. And Emilian Card has got his teammate back again. Great to see that Nazim Asman is back in the car, who had to miss the round at India due to a football injury. Football? What's that? Alex Denning in front of Bryce Fullwood. Peter Lee, Lin Kang, Massi Weiser, Liu Kai-shun, Emilian Card, Gavin Huang, and then Jiatong Liang and Todd Kingsford. That's your top 10 at the moment. There is the LK by Climax car. Third in Pro-Am for Liu Kai-shun. Sharing that car as ever with Chan Chi-kwan. But he's under pressure here from Emilian Card, who's had a bit of an up and down season in the DW Evans number 16. It's been a long time since the season opener at Sydney, when they got that fantastic charge to a double podium in Australia. There's still a good chance for them to fight on. Battle for fourth in Pro-Am is currently between Liu Guoxun and Jiatong Liang. There's still a decent 4 to 5 seconds or so between those two cars. So there's nothing to worry too much about. There are the positions along with the class categories. Pro-Am in blue, Am in amber, Pro in green, and Lamborghini Cup in silver. This is the battle further back in the pack. We've got a nice little tasty squabble going on here. This is Sutaruk Buncherong versus Li Donghui. That's an interesting one, of course, because it's the battle for position. In fact, no, that's Umar Abdullah. So that's Umar Abdullah having got ahead there of Sutaruk Buncherong. So that's for second place in the AM category. So definitely big progress being made there. And there's the confirmation, it's just updated on your screens. So now we've got Umar Abdullah ahead of Sutaruk Buncherong. So Bobby's got to try and find his way back onto the tail of Umar Abdullah. We ride on board with the number 4 car. This is Harith Zaidalo sharing his car with Aaron Lim. For once they've got 2 HZO Fortis cars this weekend, which means that Harry and Harith have got to split up. And there's been a turn 2 incident between Bryce Fullwood and Ling Kang, so that's got to be the little bit of fisticuffs between them. That's been noted by the officials. I'm not sure they're going to do anything about it just yet, but they're certainly investigating, so they'll have a look at it. I really wish we could see that incident again, actually, because it was the strangest of concertina effects. But there is Emilian Card trying to get away. Warning flag for the 15, that's Massi Weiser for a track limits infringement. So that's a warning flag. That means that on 3 occasions they have outskirted track limits. So Massi Weiser's got to be very careful how he goes after Ling Kang, because although he's going for the podium in the class, he doesn't want to overshoot on some of these faster corners and cost them a penalty. So he's got to be concentrated and very focused indeed here. Not particularly easy to see how this is going to wrap itself up. So still the contenders dueled away for position. I do believe, according to what I've got in front of me, Haziq Zairalo is going to be in the car as well. So we've got Harley, Harith and Haziq all battling away for position. So all 3 members of the family are going to get their chance to race, and it's great to see Harith bin Zairalo in the car. He's been racing out in the Infiniti Miami Series Asia Masters class this year in senior karting. So great to see he's got his chance in the Lamborghini Super Trofeo Asia this weekend, as Bryce Fullwood bags in the fastest lap of the race at 2:11.08. Now that is fascinating, because the fastest lap times we were seeing from the F4 cars earlier is 2:10. So the Lamborghini cars are only a second off those, which is amazing for the horsepower of these cars. When you consider how much heavier these cars are than those nimble and light single-seaters, shows you how impressive this car really is. Alex Denning, Bryce Fullwood, Peter Lee. To let these guys race. There is Haziq getting himself ready to get into the car. Track limits warning number 5 for the second time, so that is Harry Zaidalo getting a warning there. Down to the hairpin. We're getting close to the opening of the pit stop window. It's going to happen on the next lap. Down to the inside line. That's Emilian Card. He's found an opening there on the inside of Liu Guoxun. He was half asleep in the hairpin, and Emilian Card said, right, that's a gap. That's good enough for me. I'll have it. And he does. P6. So Liu Guoxun will be kicking himself for leaving the door open, and now he's going to attack again into turn 1. Here it is again. Liu Guoxun sticks bolted to the racing line. Emilian Card says, really? You're going to give me the gap? Okay, I'll have the overtake. So he gets through, no problem at all, into P6. And now he's trying to drive away from Liu Guoxun. Out of turn 2. That'll do nicely, thinks Emilian Card, and he'll scamper away to try and close up on Massimiliano Weiser. So we're just a minute and a half now away from the pit lane window opening. There's the Climax Vision car, the 76. That's the car that belongs to Li Donghui, who has just lost the lead in the AM category. Umar Abdullah in the Delta Garage car has gone ahead. There he is. So the lead has changed in the AM category as Umar Abdullah has fought his way to the lead. Originally third, got ahead of Bobby. And once he got ahead of the True Vision car of Bobby Bunchranen, then he got ahead of Li Donghui. So now we go to the pit stops with Umar Abdullah in the Delta Garage car leading the way. First warning for track limits for the 27, that's Ethan Brown. So Umar Abdullah going great in the Delta Garage car, taking the lead away in the AM category from Climax's Li Donghui. Bobby Bunchranen in the True Vision Motorsports car. The Thai superstar, Sitaluk Bunchranen, now running in third place ahead of Harry Zaralo. And fifth place is the kart racer, Harith Zaralo, who shares his car, of course, with Aaron Lim. So all three members of that fantastic Malaysian motorsport family out together. This is great preparation for Harith Zaralo to go for the Infinity Miami Asia Series Masters title next week in Bira in Thailand. And there is Superchai, who leads the way, of course, in Lamborghini Cup. So we wait for the time to count down. There goes Alex Denning and Bryce Fullwood past the pits. 3, 2, 1, the pit lane is open. So the pit window is now open. And so for the next 10 minutes, drivers can come into the pits as they please for their mandatory pit stops. They all got to take them. And the first taker is Todd Kingsford. So the FaneLab crew in the number 98 car. Todd Kingsford is the first one to come down pit lane as he passes under my feet from the main stand ground tree here. There is Bryce Fullwood for the Climax team, number 99, working his way through in turn 5 and 6. Just keeping it nice and tidy on this lap. I have to say, great driving standards so far. There's been a couple of feisty moments, but no fisticuffs. As into the pits comes Harry Zaralo in the HZO40's car number 5. This is their home event, of course, so the hospitality's been fever pitch from HZO40's. The 89 comes down pit lane, that's Judgeon Song for the Lepert team. And out of the car gets Todd Kingsford, into the car gets Chris Vanderdrift. There is Peter Lee. He's not going to change drivers, so he's going to have a 3-second pit stop longer than everybody else. As into the pits comes the Batmobile. Kumar Prabhakaran will come down pit lane and he will hand his car over once again. As into the pit lane comes Harith Zaralo, the kart racer turned Lamborghini racer. Makes his way back into the pits to hand his car over to Aaron Lim. So Harith bin Zaralo, of course, racing on home soil. As now we've got Alex Denning closing up on a back marker. Careful! Oh, into the pits comes Hing Tak back. And I tell you what, that was close. Alex Denning very nearly tripping over Making Tak in the Camlong Racing number 68, who comes in for his pit stop. But that was a scary little moment there. Got to be careful of these things. As the drivers continue to make it nice and tidy on the first lap of the pits. As out onto the circuit again goes Chris Vanderdrift and Hazik Zaralo, as well as Brendan Leach in the Lepert Motorsport number 89 car. And the 89 car actually comes out right into the path of the 66. And look how much time Emilian Card has made up on Massi Weiser. This is arguably the best driver of the season so far from Emilian Card. As down pit lane comes Ethan Brown in the Lepert Motorsport car number 27. So still a good battle raging here. And it's looking very tidy indeed so far. No major concerns. So, of course, Charles de Jong and Alex Denning have 113 points coming into the weekend. Peter Lee has 81. And with the absence of the number 11 car for Chicotto, because, of course, Johnny Chicotto Jr. not here, Gavin Huang is racing that car alone. But he's on 81 points as well, and he really needs to pick up the pieces here. as the number 27 sits in pit lane. No driver change this time for Ethan Brown. Hampus Eriksson is not in town. So Ethan Brown for Singapore will do this on his own to the finish. He will obviously sit in pit lane 3 seconds longer than those teams that have 2 drivers per car, because that gives them a handicap. So Emilian Card is really hunting down these two, and you can sense the frustration from Massi Weiser. Really wants to get the move on Lin Kang. Hurry up, make a gap, and he's going to go for it in one of the most impossible corners on the circuit to make an overtake. Wow, Massimiliano Weiser, what a move in the Z-Speed car. Absolutely extraordinary overtake. Nobody tries an overtake there unless you're on a video game. And now Emilian Card fancies his chances. Right, that looked pretty cool. I'm going to go make a more conventional move. In the hairpin, final turn, he's got him. Ah, that was frustrating for Lin Kang, but look at this move again. Nobody tries an overtake here, except if your name's Massi. Fantastici, Massimiliano Weiser. What a move. That is such a difficult overtake to pull off on that corner. It's one of the hardest corners in Asian motorsport, and he's made it look like child's play. Fantastic. Up into P4. So now, half of the teams have made their mandatory pit stop. Half of the teams have not yet. Still 15 crews to come down the pit lane, and they've got 5 minutes to do it. But it's all got to be done tactically. It's all got to be done in the good strategy. And the good news for SJM Theodore is they built up a 3-second gap over Bryce Fullwood and an 8-second gap over Peter Lee. So that will really help Charles Leong when he takes over the car. As for Bryce Fullwood, well, that's going to get interesting. As when he brings the car in, he's done a fantastic job on his debut as Bryce Fullwood. But of course, he's going to have to hand that car over to Zhao Wang. That is where things will get really interesting for Zhou Wang. So there is Emilian Card having a great race. Now he's trying to go after Massimiliano Weiser. Right, you can make a move into turn 14, can you? Good to know. I'll give it a try if I get the chance. And there is the hard-charging Jiatong Liang, having caught right up to Liu Kaixun. Really fancies the look himself now as well. Lin Kang is struggling. He's really holding his nerve here. But all of these cars have got to make their pit stop any moment now. So will they all come in together, or will they try and undercut? We've only got 4 minutes left. As into the pits comes the leader, Alex Denning. Goes straight on at the final turn to come into pit lane. Good start for Alex Denning, has done all the hard work he and the crew were hoping he would. The championship is likely to be confirmed tomorrow rather than today because of how many cars we've got in the pro category, 6 of them in total, so the amount of points they need to win by, it's unlikely they'll get the job done until tomorrow, but never say never. Alex Denning gets out, Charles Leong, the Macanese driver, gets in. Down pit lane comes Lin Kang. He'll hand the car over to Liu Shiwei. Out of the car gets Lin Kang. You can see that on the inset on the left of your screen. He vacates the car. Seat insert goes in for Liu Shiwei. They can't change seats, but they can add an insert to compensate for the difference in the drivers in terms of height. So only 7 cars have not come down pit lane now. There is the Delta Garage car coming in, the leading car in AM, along with Li Donghui for Climax, also coming down pit lane. Waiting to see when Superchai, Winnerpa Wonpong and Go Ing Ping, who are battling for the victory in the Lamborghini Cup, when they come in. Nice work so far. Off goes Charles Leong. Just a few minutes away from victory now in this one. 22 minutes to go. Just watching to see where the other drivers are going to come out. Bryce Fullwood has remained on the car as there goes the 66. No longer Lin Kang behind the wheel now, of course. And there is Charles Leong. Tiptoeing through the first couple of corners, just get the car back up to speed. Alex Denning has driven it a certain way. You can't drive it the same way unless you're incredibly in sync. So you've got to get used to the car under your speed as well. 5-second penalty for track limits infringement to be served at the pit stop. That's Massi Weiser. So Massi Weiser is going to have 5 seconds added to his pit stop. As into the pits comes Bryce Fullwood. So the climax car that leads the race. So they're going to lead for 1 lap, but Zhoubi Huang will take over the 99 climax car. And it's now going to come down to whether they can hold their nerve over the likes of Liu Shiwei and Chris van der Drift in the Fein Lab car, and then of course stay ahead of Jiatong Liang in the SQDA grid car and Liu Kai-shun in the LK Climax machine. There is the 99 Climax car. Bryce Fullwood, first taste of Lamborghini racing. What a great first stint. Into the car then gets Zhoubi Huang. And they have the fastest lap, of course, Mike Zhou. So an excellent performance so far. Just getting the belts strapped in, making sure everything's as it should be, and into the pits behind them comes Nicholas Starty in the Lamborghini Bundang racecraft car, and there is Charles Leong just getting himself back up to speed when he passes the pits this time. He should be getting himself to the lead. Massi Weiser is in the pits to serve the 5-second penalty as well as make the mandatory driver change. So they can kill 2 birds with 1 stone there. They'll have to, they've got no choice. Unfortunately, every car has now come into the pits, which is just as well, because in 3, 2, 1, the pit window closes. There we go, everybody's served their pit stop now. So nobody has come into the pits too late, and there goes the leader. Charles Leong leads the way as Mike Zhou gets out of the pits in the Climax car and is still running in 2nd place. Now we get to see how the differences of the drivers really appreciate the battle out in front. But it looks pretty done and dusted out front for the SJM Theodore car of Charles Leong. I don't think there's any real need to panic there. As out onto the track go Charles Ziquan and the 15 of Kevin Chen in the Z-Speed car. There's the confirmation of the 5-second time penalty that was added during the pit stop. And that's why the number 15 of Kevin Chen has lost quite a considerable amount of places there. He's dropped down behind Charles Ziquan, and there is the 98 of Chris van der Drift. Now watch him try and charge his way through. This will be a nice little move if he can pull this off on Liu Shiwei. Lovely job, Chris van der Drift. Well, that just shows you how much confidence he's got out on the first lap, and oh goodness me, Liu Shiwei almost sailing right off the race. He's got a problem. He's got a problem. Liu Shiwei with an issue. I wonder if he's got a puncture. Liu Shiwei in real trouble, and he cuts right across on the 15. He's struggling to keep that car on the road. Liu Shiwei in real trouble here. That's looking more than just disparity between drivers. It looks like he's got an issue that he's nursing here. Oh, he can't stop the car. So he dives back to the inside line of Gavin Huang, who makes sure he doesn't get hit by Liu Shiwei. I wonder if Liu's got a big problem here in the 66 car. Look, he's really struggling to get that car turned in. Gavin Huang's going to get alongside him. They almost bang wing mirrors, they're that close. As Gavin Huang's going to try and run right around the outside of 13. Have the inside line for 14. Can he commit to that? Yes, he can. He's going to get the move on the inside line. But they're going to get held up by the sister car. Goodness me, Johnson Huang at exactly the wrong moment for Gavin Huang. Wow, that's annoying. Just about avoided the contact. Now he's going to have another go into the final hairpin. Liu Shiwei sitting target on the inside line. Thank you. I'll have the overtaking move, my friend. And Liu Shiwei, the car does look out of sorts. I think there's something not quite right with it. It looks like he's got a big vibration on the right rear of the car. So I wonder if there's a slight issue with the tracking or the suspension or something. Well, there's definitely a problem for Johnson Huang, who's cruising back to the pits. That's very, very slow in the BC Racing car. That's not a Johnson Huang problem, that's a BC Racing problem. Very disappointing indeed for the crew. Massi Weiser talking things through with his engineers. Frustrated, I'm sure, about getting the 5-second penalty for track limits infringement. As across the line, we've got Nicolas Starty trying to observe what's happening around him, as we've got Haziq Zaralo battling with Dippo Fitramarden. Now this is for the victory in the AM category. There is Nicolas Starty a little up the road. Big switch there from Haziq Zaralo. Still battling away for position there. As they come off the turn. Car number 5, Haziq Zaralo, leads the AM category ahead of Dippo Fitramarden. Down to the braking zone, looking for a decent move. Oh, what's happening down in pit lane? Well, that is the 51, Johnson Wong. They're still struggling, trying to figure out what the issue is with the BC Racing number 51 car. But it's looking terminal to me. There doesn't appear to be a big rush on that one. Now, nice little battle continuing here. This is Dippo Fitramarden and Brendan Leitch. Now, Brendan Leitch is going to make the overtaking move here. Reasonably straightforward as the pro driver in the Pro-Am team charges his way back forward, but can Dippo Fitramarden keep his wits about him now and close back up to the man in front of him? That is the number 5 of Haziq Zaralo when Brendan Leitch makes the overtake on him. This is where you can use the pro drivers around you. If you're the AM driver, let the pro go, and when they get past your opponent, you can actually use the shift in momentum. As Johnson Wong walks away from the car far too early. What a shame. Game over for the BC Racing number 51 car. That's unfortunate. So there is Nazim Asman back behind the wheel again. He missed the event at Inja due to an injury, but he was actually replaced by the man who tomorrow could become the F4 Southeast Asia champion, Alex Sawyer of Vietnam. Johnson Wong out of the car. Sorry, Johnson. Today is not your day, my friend. Look at the pace from Nazim Asman, though. He's really ramping this up to go after Peter Lee. And with Mike Show in second place, losing lap time pace, this could be for second place by the end of it. Here is Chris van der Drift, and he's catching both of them. And there are 2 cars under investigation for short pit stop times. The 68, Mac Hing Tak, that's not particularly dramatic, but the 7 car is, that's Peter Lee. So the Bundang by Racecraft car might have had too short a pit stop. If that's the case, they're going to get a penalty, and that's going to promote the DW Evans GT car into 3rd position behind the Climax machine. There is Nazim Asman in the DW Evans GT number 16. And I think this car may end up on the podium after all. Because it looks to me as though there could be an investigation into the number 7 Racecraft car. There it is, Peter Lee in number 7. But if they get a penalty for being too short on the pit stop, then that could be it. You got a feel for them. Peter Lee normally has a teammate to race up against, of course. But on this occasion, he is alone in the car. So for Peter Lee, that could be a very irritating end to a chance of a podium finish here, because he's currently running in 2nd place in Pro and 3rd overall. They're doing the calculations at Racecraft. Please don't give us a penalty, please don't give us a penalty. But if they ran short, there's nothing they can do about it. And it looks to me as though they might have done. If you're going to make a pit stop in the right time, it needs to be a minute 28. And I think they've done it in less than that. It's showing us 1:27 on my timing screen. So that's gone very badly wrong indeed, if that's the case. If they've gone short, then they will get a penalty. And that's going to promote the DW Evans GT car into 3rd position. And don't forget that both Peter Lee and Nazim Asman, along with Chris van der Drift, are catching Mike Zhou in 2nd place. A 2-minute 14.8 for Zhou on the last lap, 2:13.7 for Peter Lee, 2:12.9 for Nazim Asman, 2:12.3 for Chris van der Drift. So they're really closing up. There's the number 5, that's Haziq Zaralo, who leads the way in the AM category. Brendan Leitch is closing in on him to try and get a position ahead. And it's certainly looking good for HZO Fortis to win the AM class in their home event in front of all their sponsors and corporate partners. That's going to be a fairy tale victory at Sepang in the AM class for Haziq Zaralo in the HZO Fortis car. So Aaron Lim is going to try and make progress from 5th in the category, but they won't mind. The HZO Fortis car is leading. There is the SJM Theodore car. Charles de Jong 2:13.9, pulling away from Mike Zhou in second place. And here is the battle brewing. Look at it. 4 cars in the mix for second place now. Mike Zhou, Peter Lee, Nazim Azman and Chris van der Drift. And the fastest of all 4 of them is the man at the back of the queue, Chris van der Drift. Can he get the FameLab car into second place? As the 68 picks up a penalty, that is Ingtak Mac. 1.7 second time penalty for a short pit stop time. And the 7 does get a penalty, but it's only 0.6 of a second. So that still keeps Peter Lee in the game. But here comes Nazim Azman, round the outside of Peter Lee. Peter Lee's trying to defend. Can he get the switcheroo on the inside? Nazim Azman will get a better run off the turn. And they're going to go door to door down the main straight. And Nazim Azman is going to get ahead. Nice work from Nazim Azman, but Peter Lee wants to come back at him. Down to the first corner. If you're Chris van der Drift sat at the back, just be patient. And a run wide from Azman. Peter Lee will get to the inside. Chris van der Drift is hedging his bets, trying to figure out where he can get through. Side by side, van der Drift will try and come back in as Peter Lee goes to the right side of Nazim Azman. Down the hill, watch van der Drift. On the back side of the car, van der Drift may get a chance here to move forward as Mike Zhou watches in his mirrors and tries not to get distracted. Here comes van der Drift on the inside of Peter Lee. Thank you very much. 3rd place for Chris van der Drift. Fantastic overtake into turn 4. But there's more coming for the 98. He's got 10 minutes to close up on Nazim Azman and get ahead, and then close up on Mike Zhou and get ahead. I don't think he'll catch Charles Leong before the end, but he can certainly go for P2. He's got time and he's got opportunity. Warning flag for Brendan Leach for track limits infringement further down the order. But what a run this is from Chris van der Drift, as Todd Kingsford watches on in the pit lane. Up into 3rd goes Chris van der Drift. There's still time. Todd Kingsford, the tie, watches on as Chris van der Drift pushes. But then this is what Chris is so good at. Give him a good car and a decent racetrack to play with, and Chris will always find the edge. Great work from Chris van der Drift so far, as the sky darkens a little bit over the circuit. We've been bone dry all day. Don't tell me we're going to get a rain shower now, because when it rains in Sepang, boy, do you know about it. I've lost pairs of shoes to the rain in Sepang before. 9 minutes to go. And Nazim Azman is really putting Mike Zhou under pressure. He wants to get into second as early as possible. There is the leader in Lamborghini Cup. Superchai Winnipeg for the Siam Gas Corsa team, looking to give the Thai squad another fabulous victory. He's keeping himself well clear of his opponent, Sango Kim. Shinji Takei has got into the Batmobile racing car though. What are his lap times doing? 2:16.7, so he's quicker than both Kim and Winnipeg. So the Lamborghini Cup race could tighten up. Timo Vitramanen is losing time to Hazek Zaralo, not gaining time, so it looks like HZO Fortis are comfortable for the win in the AM category. For the moment, I don't want to put any bets on it yet. This is Lamborghini Asia. Things can change very quickly. Case in point, the second place battle is going to kick on again. Chris van der Drift closing up on Nazim Azman. Calm, Nazim, calm. Oh, Chris van der Drift getting into him. No, you don't, says Nazim Azman. You're pro-am. I'm pro. I deserve to be ahead of you. Chris van der Drift thinks otherwise. Well, I'm quicker than you, so get on with it or get out of the way. Out of turn 6. Up to the double right. Very hard to get the turn in right in a Lamborghini in these 2 corners. There's the confirmation of Peter Lee's penalty, but it's only 0.6 of a second. So Peter Lee is sat at the back of this queue, likely to come home in 5th position, but that will still be good enough for a pro podium. Chris van der Drift really going for the move on the inside, and Nazim Azman as they cross wheels. Oh, Chris van der Drift is really hungry. Now he dives to the inside. Nazim Azman goes long. Can he tidy it up on the exit? Yes, he can. Brilliant racing between these two. Nazim Azman and Chris van der Drift, and all the time they're catching Mike Zhou. Azman's going to need to be brave here. Here comes Chris van der Drift. They almost go 3 wide. Azman has to get the move on the inside because van der Drift would have got him instead. They both get ahead of Mike Zhou. That's second and third. Chris van der Drift's not done yet. Back straight. Up to the hairpin. Van der Drift will go for the move. How strong will the defence be from Nazim Azman? Van der Drift's got him, has he? Azman will try and keep him around the outside. Bye-bye, Nazim. Fabulous run from Van der Drift, but he runs wide on the exit. So Azman's got another run at him. And Peter Lee is on the blinkers to try and get Mike Zhou out of the way. Azman is going to have another go here. But Van der Drift goes very long on the brakes, but the back end kicks out as a result. Nazim might get a shot. This is what motorsport is all about. Give them all the same cars, give them all the same equipment, and they will go at it like hammers and tongs. Excellent. Chris van der Drift manages to get the move on Nazim Azman and checks out Charlie, doing a great job in second place. Here comes Peter Lee, making his move for the inside of Mike Zhou in the Climax 99. That'll do, will it? He's got power on the exit. So Peter Lee will get his run. Thank you, sir. Lovely overtake, and he's already pulled 0.6 of a second on Mike Zhou, so he doesn't have to worry about his penalty affecting his position. Car 27. Track limits. A third warning then for Ethan Brown. He's got to be careful that he doesn't get a penalty with 5 minutes to go. Everybody watching on, hoping for that last minute moment. There's certainly some good battles all the way. There's certainly at Lepert Motorsport, they're hoping for a decent end to the race. Ethan Brown battling away here with the 66 of Liu Shiwei. Liu Shiwei is fairly comparable on lap time pace to Ethan Brown. Brown has got ahead of Liu Shiwei though. And Brendan Leach is going to try and close up on them all. Let's check in on the race leader. We haven't seen him for a while because Charles Leong has had it all to himself. Chris van der Drift, I should point out, is taking about 0.7 of a second per lap off the lead. But with 4 minutes and 28 seconds to go and 13 seconds in hand, that's not going to be a panic for Charles Leong. He doesn't have to stress. He can just drive his normal race to the end, and there will not be enough time for Chris van der Drift. Look at him in the background. There he is. With 4 minutes to go, I estimate that's 2 laps, maybe 3. But it should be job done as long as Charles Leong just drives it carefully. On board with Liu Shiwei as he runs down to the far side. Now, where is Liu Shiwei on the course? 12th position, trying to close up on Ethan Brown in the Lepert car. Let's listen in. I'm going to miss that noise when the Hurricane is passed over for the Temerario in the future. It's inevitable now that we know about the GT3 program for the Temerario, but there's nothing like the scream of a Hurricane. Down to the first corner. Still some interesting battles kicking on. There is the 15 of Kevin Chen, trying to stay in front of Nicholas Starty, the Australian, who raced for AGI in the world of Formula 4 at the beginning of this season in the Middle East. And now Nicholas Starty making his debut in Lamborghinis. Let's see what he can do. What kind of a move have you got, Nicholas? Can you take on Kevin Chen down to the inside line? Yes, you can. The whippersnapper has come of age. Good job, Nicholas. Good overtake. And that's not easy to get right on the uphill to turn 4, because there's that hesitation and there's also that urgency to leave the braking as late as possible. And it's not easy to predict in these top-heavy cars how quickly the car is going to get to the radius. But Nicholas Starty does a beautiful job. No worries at all then for Starty as he gets into 9th position. Now he's chasing down Zhao Ziquan, and he's actually going 0.8 of a second a lap quicker than him. So it shouldn't be too difficult to catch him before the end. There is Charles Leong going out of the final turn, and he will come through at the end of this lap to go into the last lap. Last lap board is out, and for Charles Leong, this is going to be another 15 points in the bag with his teammate Alex Denning. And it will be 12 points for Nazim Azman and his teammate Emilian Card in the DW Evans GT car, the sister car preventing Peter Lee from coming home in second in the class. They will finish third. Gavin Huang will come home fourth in pro. And so the championship fight will rumble on into tomorrow. It won't be sealed yet. But what a fantastic opportunity. And just as it was at the start of the season, the SJM Theodore and DW Evans double act has been amazing. But this man has put on a fantastic show too. Chris van der Drift, the South African star, alongside his Thai teammate Todd Kingsford in the Fein Lab number 98. They will come through to be second overall. And the winners in Pro-Am ahead of Bryce Forward and Mike Zhou, within third position, still looking to go the way of Chatong Yang and Changbu Lee in the SQDA grit car. What a drive from Nazim Asman. Out of the car and injured due to injury. He's straight back on it. And to be fair to him, I think that's his stint of the season so far. To put himself in the third position the way he has, second in pro. That's an important effort for the team as well, because they're now going to score in the 32 car 5 more points than their opponents. So that's going to be very important come tomorrow, as the gap between them coming in was 32 points. It's now going to be 37 going into tomorrow. So it's going to be a fabulous end to the day's racing. But the SJM Theodore crew are on their charge. Alex Denning and Charles de Jong. They wanted a victory to keep everybody at Yip Racing happy. Teddy Yip is here in person, and what a way to get it done for the SJM Theodore. Car number 32. Out of the final turn comes Charles de Jong. He and Alex Denning have been the class of the field again. Here at Sepang, it's victory for SJM Theodore, number 32. What a sensational run. Second place, and the win in Pro-Am for Chris van der Drift, alongside Todd Kingsford. What a great race from them. Nazim Asman crosses the line in partnership with Emilian Card in third position. Good run from Peter Lee. Will he lose his position on the last lap because of that penalty? 0.6 of a second? No, he's going to be okay. He will keep fourth place ahead of Mike Zhou. Well, fantastic stuff. All the way to the checkered flag. But SJM Theodore are victorious. But everybody here is going to be very overjoyed indeed. The Malaysian fans and everybody at HZO Fortis can be very happy indeed, because the local team, HZO Fortis, for Haziq and Harry Zaralo in HZO Fortis number 5, is going to come through for the victory of the season for them. A win is always sweet, but it's always sweeter if you do it at home. There's the gap, back to the car behind. Perfect for the HZO Fortis car. They will come through for victory in Malaysia. That's what it means to the team on the pit wall. Bow down to the god. Excellent stuff. And here comes the Lamborghini Cup winner, not for the first time in 2025, but what a great run from Supachai, the Siam Gas Corsa car. A brilliant run in the biggest Lamborghini Cup grid of the year, but a fabulous drive from Supachai Wampong. The Siam Gas Corsa car comes through for a valiant and deserving victory. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. Well done. Excellent result after a great, great race. And so it is an SJM Theodore victory. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff for Alex Denning and Charles de Jong in the SJM Theodore car, number 32. A genuinely sensational drive. Neither driver put a wheel wrong in their stint at any point. It's hard to come up with the perfect drive. They did it. And there are smiles all down the pit lane. Joyous faces all the way. Into the pits comes Chris van der Drift. It'll be a fantastic Pro-Am victory in the number 98 car for the Thai Todd Kingsford and the South African Chris van der Drift. Excellent display, great performance. And there is Alex Denning down there, ready to greet Charles Leong. And the crew can be so happy after an exemplary drive. And I think, actually, with the points gap that we've got, that might be the title confirmed. I'll double check. But we'll wait. We'll wait. We won't confirm anything until tomorrow. But certainly a fabulous performance and a great drive. Out of the car gets Chris van der Drift. A great run with Todd Kingsford. That's the win in Pro-Am. A great job from Peter Lee. Third in the Pro category. He can be very happy with that. But here comes the winning car in the SJN Theodore crew. And the celebrations for race 1 at Sepang can begin. Charles Leong will open the door with Alex Denning beside him. We did it! It's very rare to come up with a flawless drive, but Alex Denning and Charles Leong have done just that. What a result. Alex Denning and Charles Leong. Charles looks absolutely exhausted, and I don't blame him. Dan Wells comes over to make sure he's okay. I've never seen Charles Leong look so drained. You've got to remember how hot it is down there. 33 degrees Celsius air temperature here. Track temperatures are going to be in the 40s to 50s. Hottest race of the year.
He was second.
But what an absolutely sensational run.
Yeah, no, you were comfortable.
Charles Leong just checking in with the crew. How did I do? Was I okay? You were better than okay, Charles. You drove like a superstar. Great work.
Right, let's get the front here. Let's get that up here on the front. Here.
Leave it to David Kennedy. He'll make sure that the picture looks perfect. He gets the #1 board and he'll put it on the roof of the car, and they'll put it over the windscreen. No, it doesn't quite look right. Put it on the roof. Well done, guys. P1 at Sepang. And very nearly P1 for 2025. They'll finish the job tomorrow. But what a fantastic way to end the season. Victory again here at Sepang. They started the year in victorious fashion at Sydney Motorsport Park. And then through their journey to Shanghai, to Fuji, to India, and now here to Sepang. What a journey. Teddy Yip, the man on the far right, along with Dan Wells, who's now on the farthest right. That's what this means to the team. Get in here, says David Kennedy. There's the Pro result. SJ and Theodore take the win from the sister car of DW Evans GT. It's a 1-2 for the crew. Bundang by Racecraft third with Peter Lee. BC Racing fourth for Gavin Huang. The title fight is almost over. Ethan Brown fifth for Lepert, and Nicholas Starty sixth on his debut. In Pro-Am, Chris van der Drift and Todd Kingsford charge their way to the victory ahead of Mike Show and Bryce Fullwood in the Climax 99. SQDA Grit come home third for Lian Yang. Zhao and Liu are next up for LK by Climax. Then Kevin Chen and Masi Weiser, fifth place for Z Speed. Then Lin Kang and Liu Shiwei for Hudson. Brendan Leitch and Judge and Song for Lepert. And then the Huangs in the BC number 51, failing to finish, unfortunately, due to a mechanical problem. And then the AM category. It's a victorious victory and a very joyous one for the Malaysian crew. HZ040s by Absolute for Haziq and Hari Zalalo. Omar Abdullah and Dipper Vitramanan for Delta Garage by Absolute second. Lee Dong-hui and Lee Dong-sheng third for Climax. Bobby Buncharon fourth for True Vision Thailand. And then Harith Zyrolo, the kart racer, teams up with Aaron Lim to come home fifth. And then finally the Lamborghini Cup. Superchai winner Bon Pong gets the victory for Siam Gas Corsa. Goeng Peng and Sang-ho Kim, Kumar Prabhakaran and Shinjo Takei in the Batmobile are third. And then Ma Chi Min and Mak Hing Tak for Arrows and Cam Lung. Well, the celebrations are already well underway here in Sepang. Let's look back over some of the highlights of an absolute thrill fest. An hour, very nearly, of action-packed racing on the Sepang circuit. This is arguably one of the greatest circuits in the world. It doesn't matter what kind of racing comes here. We always have action, we always have drama, we always have fantastic motorsport. I've been very, very privileged this year to come to Sepang a number of times for the 12-hour for F4 Southeast Asia, for Super GT, and now for Lamborghini Asia. This place serves up drama every single time. It's one of the most underappreciated, underrated, and undervalued circuits in the world, never mind in Asia. And this place always delivers. A great run from SJ and Theodore. Alex Denning getting away in the early stages, handing over to Charles de Jong, who sorted it out. The charge from Chris van der Drift when he got behind the wheel. After a very steady and very stable opening stint from Todd Kingsford. What a battle between van der Drift and Nazim Azman as well. Van der Drift really had to work hard to get past Nazim Azman. But Charles de Jong was not going to make it risky. He was going to make it very calm and very collected all the way to a brilliant victory for SJ and Theodore. We just need to cross the T's and dot the I's tomorrow to win the title. Excellent victory in Pro-Am for FaneLab. Excellent win in the AM for HZO Fortis on home soil. And another triumph for Superchai Winnipeg in the Lamborghini Cup. So there we are, folks, a fantastic conclusion to the first race of the weekend here at Sepang International Circuit. There is more to come tomorrow. We've got more great action on the way. From me, Jake Sanson, and everybody here at Sepang, thank you very much for watching. We'll conclude the season in fine style tomorrow morning.